What's up guys, it's Mike with Shallow Reef and come back at you with another video. And today, the tank's time is numbered. I got about 3 to 4 weeks left with my 80-gallon deep blue Shallow Reef tank. So I figured, why not do a highlight reel? Highlight all the beautiful corals because they're about to be gone. I've taken off little frags of them and put them in a quarantine tank, waiting for the next build, but this has taken 4 years to get to where this is, and I gotta take pictures and videos of it at its peak. So let's jump into it.
Let's start off in the back corner. This is my huge rock of red geos that have grown like gangbusters since I got these like 3 years ago. They've covered the entire rock, as you can see. It's beautiful. And then in the back you have a Micromusa, Blastomusa merletti, and it is just looking great. And then as we swing over, you have my Blasto rock. This is one of my first ever corals that I got back in 2014 with one head on it. It's obviously a slow grower, but it is looking gorgeous. And then the other guys, they're not looking too good right now because I kind of moved the rock and made them a little upset. One of my staple corals, the Octospawn, the peach Octospawn. I have fragged probably almost 10 heads off of this since I got it. It's just grown like crazy and it's just reaching everywhere. I love this coral. Now this Duncan coral I got back in 2014 as well with one head on it. Now it's grown to over 40 heads. I've only fragged a couple heads off of it, but it is just gorgeous and I love it. Here's another Blastomusa. One's like a larger polyp, one's a smaller polyp, and it is just looking gorgeous. I mean, they've grown so well, I love it. And then if you look down farther, you can kind of see the Recordia section. So these are either bullseye or kind of psychedelic broccoli. I don't know, man. There's so many different names for mushrooms. I have no clue. All I know is I love them.
This little beauty here is a sun-kissed bounce mushroom. I just got this a couple weeks ago and it is absolutely gorgeous. I can't wait to see it grow out. I'm definitely keeping this piece because I got him after I made the deal. He's beautiful.
And this is my red digi. I got this probably back in 2017-ish, and it took a while to start, but man, it grew like crazy. And then to the right of it, you can kind of see the mummy-eyed chalice, which overtook everything. It is just a beast of a coral. Over here we got the bubblegum digi, and behind it is like a teal ACRO that I've never been able to figure out what it is, but I like them. This bubblegum digi is growing like crazy right now. Right here we got I call them the Superman striped bounce mushroom or striped mushroom. I mean, you can kind of see these mushrooms are just so good looking. I mean, just beautiful corals, and that contrast with the kind of bubbling up going down to the tips looks amazing. I do have some frags of this I'm going to be using for the next tank, but I mean, it takes a while for them to get that big and gorgeous. My acan echinatas that I learned you can't put next to acans, I dig these guys. Except they're pretty dangerous around other corals. They sting like crazy. They'll even beat up a mummy-eyed chalice. But overall, they've been kind of nice to look at, and you can kind of see they're just gorgeous looking. I'll miss them. This is a neon green leather or a Tyree toadstool leather. I can't remember exactly what it is. There's so many different names and I'm not very good at coral identification. But this is played host to several clownfish and kind of been ripped up a bit because of all the hosting. But I got this for helping my friend Wayne move his tank, and that was the only thing I really wanted. It was back in 2017, I believe, and it was maybe a third to a quarter of this size. It's really done well in this tank. This is my red Lobo that I got from Clarksville Reef and Reptile, and it has done really well and has grown great in my tank. And it's kind of doing best in this little corner where it's shunned away with all the coral and algae and the leftover Monsipora calf that I had there. But overall, this thing is great. I love feeding it. This is a larger colony of mint candy cane. I have had this coral since 2016 when I got the tank. When I actually had it at this size, it grew huge, size of almost a volleyball, and I fragged it up, gave it to friends, sold it off. It has done really well. Over here, got some no-name acros that I always pick up. I seem to find corals that I kind of like. You can kind of see this guy down here. I fragged him off because that was the only coral I had of him. I gave the other one to my friend Wayne when he got that Montipora cap, so it didn't make it in his tank, so this is the only piece left, except for that little frag, so that will be gone, but hopefully I'll be able to grow it out and it'll live on. So in the back you got the red Setosa, and then in the front you have a coral that's supposed to be kind of like green at the base and then purple throughout the ACRO, and then on the tips it's supposed to be green again. I don't know why it doesn't look like that in this tank, but in my frag tank it looks like that. Who knows? Something is not jiving over here. Maybe it's the flow, maybe it's close to other corals stinging it. I don't know, but hopefully when it transitions over to the new owner, it'll start growing again for him too. Oh buddy, this was like my worst planning mistake ever. I had no idea how the growth patterns of this would go. So I got a Jedi Mind Trick on the left, a Superman Montipora on the right, and a reverse Sunset Montipora on the far right. And then it's kind of sandwiching the Superman, and the Superman's gorgeous, but it's getting kind of smushed out. If I could have done this again, I would have placed these on completely different rocks, because this looks great. This looked really good when it first came out and it started to grow. My purple Digi, doing great, except for the Mummy-Eye Chalice stinging it, and back behind it is a Leptocyrus that never really did well. I think I should have put it down lower in the tank to make sure that it wasn't getting pummeled by light. But the Mummy-Eye seems to love the light, but the Lepto is not liking the light. This is probably my favorite coral in the tank. This is a Dragon Soul Favia that I got from Clarksville Reef and Reptile years ago. I mean, probably 2015, 16? One of those. Yeah, late 15, early 16. And it accidentally got kind of eaten up by an acan. And there was like half of a head left on. I mean, there was nothing. I mean, I got it with one head and there was half of it left. And it fought its way back, and now it's gorgeous. It's a showpiece in the tank. I'm keeping it because I can't bear to get rid of this guy. He is absolutely stunning. I love him. So welcome to Acan Alley. The far right acan, I've had that since 2014. I got it from one head. It's one of my first corals. And then kind of working the way over from right to left, I got that one, the acan over here, after I got the purple one. And then I decided to get more acans because I kind of like it. Then I got the one behind the green one, and then the green one, then finally this guy. This guy's kind of changed colors on me. He had a little bit more blue in the outer rim. I don't know what happened. I guess some sort of lighting nutrients type thing, but overall I love these acans. They did really well for me. The giant hammer coral. This thing has grown like gangbusters. I have fragged, I'm not even kidding, and I'm not even exaggerating, there's probably been about 50 to 60 heads that I fragged off of this puppy. I mean, I could not keep it under control. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. It grows like bigger than a volleyball if you would let it go unchecked. It's just a great coral. I like it. I have a frag of it that I'm keeping, and it's gonna be in my next tank for sure. My toxic green frog spawn. It's actually getting kind of pummeled with too much flow right now. I probably should turn off the power heads a little bit so it extends up better, but this thing is gorgeous. It's so bright and vivid. I've really learned how to frag corals off of the hammer coral and this frog spawn. They've taught me a lot, and I'm just so grateful that I've had them, and definitely gonna have this in my next tank. So the Stylophora in the back is a maricultured one, and I've not been a big fan of mariculture because, you know, you could get some pests on them from the ocean, or you could just have them not do well in the aquaria, but it's been great. I really like it. I have a little frag I'm keeping, and below it is a hotspot chalice. Don't know if that's the real name. That's what the owner told me. So that's going to my next tank as well. And in the top right, you can kind of see the orange Bam Bams that I've kind of taken a frag of too. And who can forget ACRO Island? You have the bird of paradise to the right, the green digi growing next to the bird of paradise and in between the millipora. I mean, that red millie is looking great. You can't really see all of it because the frog spawn's in the way, but it's huge. And then you got the scripts, which, oh my god, that scripts is insanely big. I'll flip around to the other side and you can kind of see. So you can see the scripts is kind of growing everywhere. And you have this blue tip acro that I really enjoy. And behind it, you'll see a strawberry shortcake, which I placed there and it didn't grow very well. Everything else kind of decided to grow around it and make it harder for that coral to grow. Not sure why. But on this side, I kind of had an extra piece of the monopora laying around, so I threw it on this ledge because nothing was growing back here. And it has done really, really well, surprisingly, getting blasted by the flow from that gyre. Oh yeah, and the last piece, I don't even know what this is. It's some sort, I don't know if it's a chalice or an encrusting Monty. I got that for like 30 bucks from Clarksville Reef and Reptile, not knowing what it was, and I just kind of threw it on this rock. And it has kind of acted as an epoxy holding these two rocks together. You can kind of see them at the joints. But overall, guys, that is the tank. I am so happy that I was able to get it to look like this. Granted, I've been, fragging like crazy. I've been selling stuff out of it, trying to pay for the next tank. I've been re-aquascaping because, I made all the rookie mistakes. I've just done a bunch of stuff to this tank and it still looks good. I'm just so happy that I've had the chance to learn all I need to learn with this tank and upgrade to a bigger tank. Hopefully it'll be better, but it's gonna be a journey. So guys, if you like what you see here and you wanna see more, please subscribe to see more, because there's gonna be a huge build for this 200-gallon Innovative Marine coming up, and hopefully I'm gonna do something a little bit similar to this tank in the design, and you're going to really wanna subscribe to see more of this content. So please, comment below, let me know, and I'll see you guys later.